everybody. Come on in. It's the Shawn Yankey Show, the Monday edition. So get in here, like and share. Invite your friends, start a watch party, smash the like buttons, and comment. Take part in the show. Any interaction, all interaction, helps us do better in the algorithm. And that's what we need right now. I depend on you guys to help push us through and get us out to more people. So every platform, we're on Facebook right now, we're on YouTube right now, and Periscope. So share it out. I'm sure you know better places than me. I shared it everywhere I know to share it. But what's up, Kilo? Good to see you here on YouTube and Facebook. We got a lot of people here. Dolores, Helen. Hey, Helen. Hey, Susan, Joan. Where is your top fan badge, Paul? Oh, there you go. You put it back. Good to see. I don't know what happened to that. I guess you need to up your comments, Paul. You need to step up your game. This is a very active group. So it's competitive around here because I noticed Steve's is gone. What happened there? What's up, Jack? Just got done cleaning my bong. Right on. Your priorities are straight. At least you're keeping your mind right, Jack. That's what you need to do. Marie says, I miss having a bong. You still smoke though, right? I mean, we still partake of the cannabis. The miracle plant that is here for us. That was put here for us to enjoy. Ginger says you can't share to groups. Man, you are always in jail. Facebook is oppressive and censorship has now been corporatized. What's up, Jason? Jason's having a joint right now, too. So I prepped before the show, so I have already partook and celebrated 420 as I try to do every day. Paul says, is this your personal page? Personal pages don't have top fan badges. It's the Our Revolution War Room page, and I changed the name to mine, so maybe they took them away. I don't know. I don't know the rules. They're all gone, Jack. Everybody's is gone because Heath is a top fan as well. So Paul might be right. They may have deemed my page a personal page now because it's my name and taken away the badges on Facebook. So you guys are going to have to do like Paul and give yourself badges. I'm sorry. I didn't know you couldn't do that. You know, I don't know the rules. They do all kinds of things to discourage people. Smoking one now myself, Paul says. I wish I'd have brought some. I almost feel left out. Ginger says Facebook prison. Isn't that silly? Isn't that silly? We're grown. We're grown. And Facebook will lock you up in a little jail where you're not allowed to share. You're not allowed to get anything out. And you're not allowed to do anything. I've never been in. Never have. I don't know how I've avoided getting my Facebook stripes. I really don't. But I've never been in. I've been in the type where you can't share to groups, what Ginger's is now. But I've never been in full-blown Facebook jail. I guess I need to step my game up. Brent says, I'm old and have COPD. I get mine in a sticky tar. I've never done the tar. I was at the dispensary because it's now legal medically here in Missouri. I hope it's legal in some way where you are and you have access to this miracle plant. But I was at the dispensary and they had some new stuff and he was talking about tar. I've never done that. We don't have the actual medical dispensaries aren't open officially yet. It's kind of weird what's going on at the one I go to. We can get into that if you want, but they do a donation. They can't sell marijuana yet. Jack's never been in Facebook jail either. Brent's in Florida. It's a session time. I'm in also. Everybody smoke. Go ahead and smoke. I'm going to talk about a little bit of stuff that I had planned out and to get the conversation going. So the first thing I wanted to talk about for everybody that didn't know, New York has removed Bernie Sanders from the ballot and canceled their primary. So that's over now. I'm not very good at standard chess, to be honest. So I'll be the first to admit that I don't understand much about 4D underwater chess, which some people still think that's what Bernie is playing. But this just doesn't look good, guys. The DNC is in full-blown cheat mode. And I'm sorry, but what Bernie did made that easier for them. And he should have damn well known that things like this would happen. Now, the DNC can hide Biden in a room in front of a teleprompter right up until the convention and then coronate him. And they will, too. And they don't give a shit that he will lose to Donald Trump. And he will lose badly to Donald Trump. And Bernie knows this. Now, that man is far from stupid. And I've been fighting with making sense of what he did to us by suspending his campaign and endorsing Joe Biden. And he did that to us. That is something he did to us. Now, I've thought very hard about it. And I've even held myself back a lot because I wanted to be responsible about what I said. I didn't want it to be an emotional reaction. I wanted to really think it through. Now, I already thought it was foolish. I was open about that. I was open about the fact that I didn't agree with what he was doing. Even before New York took him off the ballot, I knew that this plan to collect delegates was bullshit. And Bernie knew it too. Bernie isn't stupid. And he is aware of all the things that we are aware of and more. He isn't naive. So what Bernie did to us was cowardly. And it did real damage. And I don't give a shit about politics. I've been told over and over again, and I get it, that what he did is smart politics. He's playing the game, the political game. I don't care about politics. I care about this movement. And I care about the people coming together. And what Bernie did was to break our spirit. They want us to lay down and wait for change. They want us to give up. They want to just give us empty promises and have us fall in line like good slaves. Now, it makes no sense to me, no matter how much I think about it, why he's doing it. But Bernie played us. Bernie is a company man. He may hold his seat as an independent, but he is a Democrat establishment company man. He is not a revolutionary. And as little sense as it makes on the surface, he is sheepdogging for the Democrats. Bernie never intended to win. He was controlled opposition. That's what he is. And I don't know why he's doing what he's doing. That's the thing that will probably end up driving me insane. I need things to make sense. I don't know how you are, but I need them to. And I can't get my head around it. Now, Chris Hedges is very smart. I respect him. He thinks that Bernie did what he did to be clubbable. Now, could it be that simple? 4+ decades of consistent work to sell all of your values off to appease the big club in your golden years? For what? A pat on the back? To get invited to fancy parties? Is he insane? Does Bernie suffer from Trump derangement syndrome? Does anyone actually believe that? I know that Donald Trump isn't even the most dangerous president in my lifetime. Did everybody forget about George W. Bush? So Bernie knows that too. Bernie knows that Trump is a media-made boogeyman. He's not the most dangerous president alive. He's not trying to be a dictator. That's ridiculous. Bernie didn't do this to stop Trump. He did it to stop us. Now he wants us to support Joe Biden. And the answer is no. And trust me, Bernie fucking knows this too. You know what else Bernie knows? He knows that Joe Biden is a rapist. You know, it's bad enough that Biden is a Republican segregationist to begin with, but he has a very credible rape allegation against him right now that, despite the mainstream media's best efforts, isn't going to go away, although they are damn sure trying their best. They are burying it. Some of the best coverage that I read, recently I read a great story from Business Insider covering the neighbor. That led me to some other stories, but that's where I discovered it. Business Insider is now doing breaking pieces on the Tara Reade story. It's not going away. They're trying, though. They took down a Larry King interview with Tara Reade's mother. But Bernie knows about all of this. I know it. I'm surrounded by cornfields in the middle of Missouri. Just a regular dude. Bernie has advisors, consultants, a team of people that give him information. He's a smart man. He knows all of this. And I'm sorry, but he is trying to save an organization that is a direct enemy to democracy and progress. And he's trying to take real revolutionaries and turn us into good, obedient lapdogs. I love him for bringing us together and what he supposedly stood for. But what Bernie has done to us, and now has done twice, is deeply evil. This revolution was really to keep this system alive. Now, it is dying off because people are waking up to the bullshit. More and more of us have stopped trusting the media and are realizing these political parties, fucking both of them, work directly against the people, and the system is losing its hold. In comes Bernie. And bear with me just a bit, because this is going to hurt. We are rising up against the system. So how do they control that? How do they get us to not only fall in line, but continue to willingly tolerate their bullshit? They sell us a fake revolution. They take real fighters and focus them instead on their bullshit political system. They use our passion to sell their agenda, and it works. It works. We don't go along with what they want. We don't. But that doesn't matter, you see. They distracted us, for one, and made us feel like we were participating. And then they offered us false hope that if we keep doing that, one day progress will happen. And some of us will take that carrot, but most of us will get disheartened and splinter into little groups, becoming more and more powerless. It's worse than sheepdogging what he did. And he knowingly did it too. Now, I can't understand why he did it, but he did. And he is working against progress, not for it. Now, this is hard to hear, and it's hard for me to say. I'm shaking a little bit, but it's true. Bernie is a wolf in sheep's clothing, and we cannot let him damage our movement anymore. We have got to stay united and stay strong and stay active. We cannot allow some misplaced hero complex to distract us anymore. Now, I'm not mad. Some of you might be mad at me right now, but I'm not mad. And I didn't say any of this out of anger. I still have my Bernie bumper stickers on my car, and I'll probably leave them there. And I still, despite having decided that he played us, feel nothing but love for the man. He is still doing good work, and I wish him well. But I'm done with politics as a strategy for political progress, and will instead vote strategically to tear this establishment down. We need to focus on direct action. I truly believe that's where we need to focus now. We need to stay as united as we possibly can and work towards things that we can impact in a real way. We need to get involved with our communities and involved in our local and state politics. And as far as the sellout establishment assholes in Washington, we run them all out of town. All of them. And I don't care what letter is next to their name. If they stand against the people, I will fight to remove them. The DNC, though, the DNC itself must be destroyed, burned down to the ground, and the ashes scattered to the farthest corners of the earth. And I'm sorry, Bernie, but that's what I'll be pushing people towards. Speaking of, the May Day general strike is Friday, and this is where we need to focus our efforts. These are the type of things that we need to do. This is where we use our power. Our power is in our numbers. We cannot allow ourselves to splinter and get weak. So let's rally around events like this, around direct action, things that matter, things that are real, and that we can do. We can have a revolution. We don't have to let it be destroyed. And this Friday is one fantastic opportunity to send a message to the powers that be with the May Day general strike on May 1st, this Friday. And I truly believe that this is what we do now. This is how we use our power. We change this from the ground up. All that stuff was true. Direct action, though, is our path forward. And this is a great way to get it kicked off. So Friday, don't work or buy anything. Don't go out and shop. If you need something, make sure you get it before Friday. Don't spend any money on Friday. Don't buy nothing. Participate in the system, not at all. And that's how we send a message. So join in solidarity with your fellow Americans to stand against this greed-driven, oppressive system. And share it out. Get everybody involved. Get everybody excited. Get the information out there, because the media damn sure isn't going to do it. We have to do that. That's the kind of stuff we do. We still can do the same things we were doing. Literally nothing changed for us, except we don't get the prize of electing Bernie Sanders president. That was a charade to begin with. We were never going to get that prize. But we can still make the changes we want to make, you know. But we got to do stuff like this. So I'm going to be ranting about this general strike all week. And I hope you guys will too, because the more people we can get to participate in it, the better. The stronger message it will send. And we can do more and more and more moving forward. We're going to get stronger and stronger every time. See, we can keep going. And that is what I want to be what everyone gets out of this little monologue. We can change the world, and we will. But we're going to have to own it and put this divisive bullshit behind us. And we all have the same enemies, no matter where you may fall on some bullshit political spectrum. So let's fight them together and defend ourselves before it's too late. Now, this is our world, not theirs. And we don't have to tolerate this evil system anymore. We can tear it down. Like Keel was saying, both parties have to go. I don't stress enough that I'm also talking about the Republicans. A lot of times I take for granted that that should go without saying. I feel they're pretty clear with their intentions, and the Democrats are the ones that need to have it pointed out more, that they're really your enemy. Paul says, let's talk about gay frogs and lizard people. Wednesday night, Paul. You got to wait. What do you want to cover Wednesday night, by the way? We're covering conspiracies Wednesday night. We used to do a conspiracy theory show. It's just I decided that naming a show Conspiracy Theories and Chill, while every platform is actively trying to suppress anything they consider to be conspiratorial, was basically shooting myself in the foot. So we just rolled it all under one name. But Wednesday nights, we're still going to focus on conspiracies. And I actually don't have a topic yet. So I can use any suggestions for that. I don't want it to be gay frogs, though. What about gay lizard people? Alicia said we need to take our money out of corporate banks and transfer it to credit unions. Excellent point. That's exactly the kind of stuff we have to do. And Jack's right. No one buy anything May 1st. Paul says focus on local municipalities. DC is nothing more than actors on a stage. He's exactly right. He is exactly right. Now, I sat here every day for months telling you that we could change it. People try to tell me that we couldn't. Over and over again, people try to tell me that we couldn't. I got fooled. I got played. I want to focus on real things now. Paul's right. DC, just actors on a stage. And they're all working against us. And they're all in a big club. We're not in it. We never will be. It's us against them. So that's what needs to be done moving forward. Carol says, I'm wearing my vest May 1st. That sends a good message too. You know what? Why not? I was even thinking about just wearing the damn thing anytime I go out. And I hope that the Burn Your Vest movement, I want to reach out to them again, because I really hope that they want to get something going weekly like in France. I really think we need to do that. Well, if they don't, I'm going to get it going, and I'll fall under the yellow vest umbrella. Yeah, Steve, both parties suck. Both parties suck. Everybody, they're two wings on the same bird. Azora says not buying for one day just means they will wait and buy the next day. True. It's little things, though. It sends a message of solidarity. That's how we show our strength, our numbers. And there is more movements. There is actually a movement for a total general strike, rent strike, and it goes on and on. Let me give you the link to it. I'm going to put it on all the platforms real quick, just because I wasn't prepared to really go into it, but it's growing, and these are the kind of things I think we need to do. But this is about the general strike movement, just a complete general strike, which is kind of what's necessary at this point because we are under attack. This is an attack against us. We need to defend ourselves. We need to get in self-defense mode. We all do, no matter where you land politically. That doesn't matter. What needs to matter is what's important. And what's important is what we can actually affect and change. The rest is just distractions, like Paul was saying. But we have to take ownership of our role. And our role is to be the media and make sure that they can't silence Tara Reade. But the story I was hinting at earlier is her story's been corroborated even further now. A former neighbor has come forward saying that she had heard about the Joe Biden sexual assault accusation all the way back in the mid-90s, that Tara had talked to her about it, and she says she was upset, and the more she talked about it, the more she started crying. I remember her saying, here was this person that she was working for, and she idolized him. She said she told her that he had put her up against a wall and put his hand up her skirt, and he put his fingers inside of her. Said she felt like she was assaulted, and she really didn't feel there was anything she could do. She corroborates the story in detail from all the way back in the 90s. It's not something that she just started talking about. Not that that should matter. If it was, so what? This is a story that her mother did an interview with Larry King. I talked about this a little bit. They pulled it from the website. Why are they going to so much effort? What happened to Me Too? Wait, was that all bullshit? Jack says you should see what my beautiful wife just brought me for dinner. My wife is out mushroom hunting. Babels is mushroom hunting right now, so I don't know what we're doing for dinner. Yeah, Paul Wiener's out. Wiener's out. I'm telling you, we gotta do things like that. Maybe not pull your wiener out, but butters means well. Steve says, did y'all see the stream where Biden's wife does all the talking, then Joe reads poorly off a screen? His brain is fried. He can barely handle this teleprompter shit. And that's how they're going to try to push him through all the way to the primary, until the primary's over, which they might as well just wrap the fucking thing up. It is over. Anyways, they're just going to sit him in front of a teleprompter. You ever seen him when he gets prompted to talk? If they haven't started rolling it yet, he sits there and does that thing. He don't know how to speak on his own. Carol says, can you get fired for strikes? Well, I mean, you don't have to tell them what you're doing. I didn't plan to. I mean, I guess they can find out if they did enough digging. But I wasn't going to call and say, hey, by the way, general strike, yo. Paul says, not during a pandemic. Yeah, pandemic. This is quite a pandemic, isn't it? I don't know what to say anymore. I just feel like they're at least using this for a sinister agenda. It's got me very worried, to say the least. Ginger worked in the garden all day. That's the kind of stuff we need to be doing. Kathy's been talking about community gardens. We need to get involved in our local communities. That's the kind of stuff we do. I really think. And spread the truth. Get stories out there like this and about important issues. Work together. Like with Julian Assange. We need to raise awareness. No one's going to come and save Julian. No heroes coming along. We need to take ownership of that. This truth teller that's sitting in prison awaiting extradition to the United States to be tried for crimes against the United States. He's got a family, 2 beautiful little children. He needs to be able to go live his life. He's given up enough, all just for the truth. We need to be the ones that fight that battle. No one else is going to. And that's the kind of stuff we do. And, you know, the general strike, as Azora says, it's not going to hurt them. People are still going to probably buy the same amount of stuff and everything like that. It just, it demonstrates a show of force. Sorry. Nicole says, I tanned my fat today. It needs tan too. Fat is beautiful. Plus, you're probably like 5 pounds overweight. A lot of girls, when they say they're fat, they're really not fat. Carol says, I don't really care if I get fired. I was going to be done when school was officially done for the school year anyway. Paul says, coronavirus numbers. I said it. Oh, well. 1 million positive. 55,000 deaths. 0.5% mortality rate. I haven't fact-checked his numbers, but about a week ago I was on the CDC site, and his numbers aren't that far off from what I saw then, so they're probably pretty accurate. Now, I don't know if his math is accurate. I'd be the last to question that. Anybody wants to pull out a calculator and see if he's wrong. I've heard that it's a very low mortality rate, something along the lines of a 0.5. So I don't think there's anything wrong with what Paul's saying, and there's no justification based on those numbers for what's being done. None. Mrs. says, I bought paint. It's on waiting on my Rona check. I still got to find out if I'm going to get a Rona check. I don't even know if I'm getting a Rona check. Steve asked, did I watch Planet of the Humans? Yes. Yes. And the Georgia Guidestones aren't correct. I think Planet of the Humans... Michael Moore's establishment. I think that movie's made to try to make you ashamed of your way of life. That is not true. You know, we do consume too much. We do. But that's because there's unlimited options. Greed has gotten out of control. What the main problem is greed. The world is overpopulated. There's too many billionaires. And you got all these billionaires and trillionaires running around. And there's way too many of them. We get rid of them. The Georgia Guidestones aren't correct. And that movie is great, by the way. The documentary was very good. And it was about how green energy, for the most part, is actually bullshit and not really sustainable and not very effective even, and very costly, and uses a lot of oil-based energy and coal-based energy to even exist. So it was a very good and very informative documentary, but the point it got around to at the end was the depopulation agenda. Red flags just started flying up everywhere. They had to for you guys too while you were watching it. I know they shamed the shit out of you in that movie, but it was to sell a depopulation agenda. Paul says those numbers were taken from today's briefing. Yeah, you sent me the screenshot. Jack says, sorry for eating in front of you. It was fucking bomb. I don't think there's very much inappropriate behavior during the Shawn Yankey show. I think everything's okay. And you can do whatever you want. Nicole says, saving my check, want a cheap house. Well, one of those tiny houses? Steve says, LA has a little heat wave going on. It's been raining like every day here. I'm thinking about building a boat. You know, I think it might be necessary. I have a tiny dog, and she's dachshund mixed with a black lab. So she looks like a tiny black lab. And my yard is just all mud. It's just scary to watch her just trot around. She needs a bath anytime you let her out to go to the bathroom. Steve says, careful eating wild mushrooms. I told her to get me some shrooms. She's a farm girl. She knows exactly where to get that stuff. She said she didn't feel like messing with it. She wasn't going around any cow pastures. I want to try them. I'm open-minded. I remember saying I had a bad experience, and I did the last time I tried shrooms, but I would try them again. Zora says, if we can find ways to replace the need for the purchase, such as starting a grow garden, does this also contribute towards the strike? Yes. Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly the kind of things we need to be doing. Like I said, Kathy's been trying to get me to focus on, and I have said it a couple times, trying to, but I don't know how to put that together. I got to learn how to organize, really, and start putting events together for things like that. That would be cool to do. Hey, Lacey, eat a little. You can always eat more after a few hours. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Goulash? I've never had goulash. What is goulash? It'd be great. You also think that eating garlic raw is great. Like, I don't know. I don't know, Jack. I trust you, but I've never bit into a piece of garlic. So maybe I should before I judge, because it might be delicious. Jack could be on to something. Marie says it is the Missouri springtime monsoon. Have one in summer, fall, winter monsoons. Yards are complete mud. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. She's filthy. You let her outside for 2 seconds. And she's afraid of rain, too. So it's really hard to let her out, being that it's always raining. If she goes outside and she sees this rain, she looks back at you like you're out of your mind. She's like, I don't even know why you brought me out here. Helen says you need more garlic. See, people talk about garlic. You're not allowed to talk about vitamin, the one between B and D on YouTube anymore. They'll tag your videos and pull your channel over stuff like that. And talking negatively about the virus as well, which I wouldn't even attempt to do because I'm not a doctor, but I know that this fear is unwarranted. And it's got me very concerned what they're really doing, Slay says it's good for your immune system. Put it in a veggie capsule. I guess I need to eat more garlic. But let's see. Did y'all see that 25%, 24, I almost gave him an extra percent. Only 24% of Biden supporters polled were very enthusiastic. You know, they do all kinds of different polls. This is a poll of just Biden support. Just people that already said, yeah, I'll vote for Biden. Well, how enthusiastic are you about voting for Biden? Only 24% very enthusiastic. With Trump supporters, it's 53%. 53% of Trump supporters are very enthusiastic about Donald Trump. Biden is a guaranteed loser. And, you know, I've still got people on my feed telling me we need to support Joe Biden. The Democrats don't even believe in Joe Biden. What you need to do is embrace that Trump's going to be president for the next 4 years and start getting active on a local level and getting involved in your community and doing things that you can make a difference in. And things that actually affect you, too. You know, your local and state politics end up being a lot more important than federal. Organic farmers love them. Everybody keeps raving about garlic. Yeah, Brent, there's no difference. So, politically, I'm just looking at what your record is. I don't care what letter's next to your name. What have you done? What kind of work have you done? Do you understand that you're a public servant? If not, then you're an enemy of the people, and I'll be actively working against you, no matter who you are. But the entire Democratic establishment needs to be torn down. They're open about it. We're a corporation. We don't have to respect the voters. Well, that's incredibly undemocratic. And that makes our whole political system a sham. Do you see? No matter how you feel politically, if half of the discussion is completely staged, is any of it real? That needs to concern everybody. Then that's not even bringing up the other problems with our elections. You know, we're not the shining example of democracy that we pretend to be. And most of us understand that, especially in this circle, the people that usually run in this group. But what do you guys want to get into? You know, I've went through my notes. Somebody want to explain to me? And like, because I can see it from both sides. But Trump is dead set against the post office. Why? I don't know. Is it because he wants to privatize it? I'm not sure. I haven't been following the story. But Rolling Stone just did a piece about how they tried to give some aid to the post office in the stimulus package, but they kicked it out because they wanted to just give them $13 billion. They didn't want it to be a loan that they pay back. So Treasury Secretary Stephen Mnuchin is said to have said you can have a loan or you can have nothing at all. So that's what they got, was nothing at all. And now Trump is saying that he would veto if a bill hit his desk, if it included any emergency funding for the post office that is already on steady ground, he would veto it. And I don't understand. Helen says, looks like he definitely doesn't like Bezos fucking them over. Marie says he has a stake in privatizing it. I bet. They have wanted to privatize U.S. Postal Service just like schools and prisons. Ginger's off to work. Oh, you essential. Us essential people. We're in different wars. This Ginger's on the front line. I'm just serving people food. But be careful at work, Ginger. Jones says, oh, you guys are talking about weather. It's 40 here in the day. Ugh. He says a presidential veto can be overridden by a 2/3 vote. And didn't what the last stimulus package only got like one vote against, or who was it? Wasn't it only one? Was it AOC? I don't know what it was. But Jones says Trump won't give anything to the post office unless they agree to quadruple the package price for Amazon deliveries. Is that the bargaining chip? Quadruple the package price for Amazon deliveries. Or is Amazon getting a crazy deal through the post office? Ginger says, check Trump's coronavirus committee. Bezos is on it. So Bezos is tied to Trump. Helen says, weatherman promised me storms tonight. Be good sleeping weather. I love sleeping during the rain. Kathy says, the post office as a public banking service would undercut FedEx, not to mention Chase. Now, how would they become a public banking? Now, I'm probably showing my ignorance, but it's okay. How would they become a public banking service? Is that like an emergency function of the post office? I feel like I need to inform myself more on this subject. Jack says, my neighbor needs me. She's in a wheelchair. Y'all have a great evening. Well, I hope she's okay. Primo Nutmeg, I'm watching that video. I was like 10 minutes in, and I had to start the show, but I'm watching it. I like it. I subscribed to the channel. I already liked the video, and I'm going to learn a lot from that dude, especially about just some of that cool stuff in his intro. I'm gonna learn a lot of stuff from him. That's how I learn any of this. I don't have any idea what I'm doing. Just trying. Do the best I can to make a decent show for you guys. Steve says in the LA, and wait, the comments are starting to move fast. That's good. In LA, Mexicans grow a lot of peppers and magically herbs. You can tell their houses if you know the herbs. Carol says Trump is a moron. I'm not defending him. You know, he's a symptom. I think he's a plant. He wasn't supposed to win, but he was safety net. They stand to lose nothing. I'm not supporting him. I'm telling you, they don't care. They willingly will lose to Donald Trump. They stand to lose nothing by doing so. That's what I'm saying. I'm not defending him. I hope that's clear. Someone mentioned oil. Kilo's talking about oil. Azora says, I would like to know what conspiracy is causing thousands of acres of national forest, trails, camping, and recreation to be off limits to everyone with no end date given. Agenda 2030, among others. But they're conditioning us. They're conditioning us for the fact that they plan on making large parts of the United States off-limit areas. And that's what this is. They're conditioning us. A lot of this stuff's not going to go away. You know, they're going to keep it around, and then they'll bring another squeeze. That's how they'll slowly bring it in. But that's what it is. Paul says the post office and pawn shops where the original check-in go. I don't understand. Check-in go. Like the little loan shops? Marie says that was Bernie's idea to fund the U.S. Postal Service, make it a banking service as well. Oh. Steve said, I think the post office did banking when I was a kid. Kathy says, postal banking, known as the Postal Savings System, began operation in 1911 and officially ended in 1967. Though the post office stopped accepting deposits a year earlier, initially savings earned 2.5% interest with a 0.5% designated for operation of the system, according to a Postal Service history, October 30th. Very interesting. He says Donald Trump and Charles Manson have some of the same facial expressions. That's interesting. Charles Manson is a very interesting figure. I had a teacher in school. He was a former homicide detective. And it was an experimental class. So it was the coolest class I ever took in school, actually. But it was like a law class, and he had all these experts come in. But he was telling me this story of these personal letters that Charles Manson had written back and forth with a college student. She was doing an article on him, and she killed herself based on what he'd been writing her. He only let me see the first 3 letters in the 6-letter exchange. He wouldn't let me see the last ones. But it's fascinating how much he was able to manipulate people. Because the first 3 letters that he showed me is gibberish. Gibberish. She'd ask him a question and it'd be complete gibberish back. It didn't really make any sense. It didn't seem to have any kind of theme. And it was never an answer to her question. Jones said Trump said he doesn't want to raise the package price for the people, just for Amazon deliveries. Fuck Amazon. I mean, what? The post office don't want to do that? Or do they have to charge everyone a flat rate? Is that the way it goes? Is that their thing? That they can't just single out Amazon? Can you do that? Like, not that I care. If you can, then good. Make Jeff Bezos pay his taxes. That'd be a good way to start. That's a good thing to do right there. Yeah, boycott Amazon. That's a good comment. Boycotts. These are the things that we do. That's how you show your disdain with the system, is with your money. That's what they care about. Take that away. I don't care how cool it is. You know, it's super neat. I can get anything I want delivered the next day. Stop using them. They're fucking evil. Like, wait a little while. There's got to be a better option. You know? Just like with the 5G. I don't know enough about it technically to really speak on the dangers of it. But I know that there ain't no need for it. There is no need for it. My phone is plenty fast, and I don't need an Internet of Things. I don't need my toaster to talk to my TV. I don't need it. We don't need this. That's what I'm saying. They just give us and give us and give us all these products. I'm looking around, and it's a room full of shit I don't use. It's unnecessary. And I don't think it's safe. But, like I said, I don't know enough to speak on that. I just know that it's a weaponized frequency, and any natural living being reacts to frequencies. So the ones we're already exposed to are bad. Why do we need 300,000 new towers exposing us to more frequencies, exposing nature, things that we don't really understand that we're messing with? Out of convenience, just for faster phones. My phone is plenty fast. It doesn't, every once in a while it buffers, but a couple seconds, really. What are you saving? What were you doing anyway? You know, most people don't have nothing going on. Source says, I thought Amazon was working on their own delivery network, including using drones. I had heard about the drones too. So I think that's accurate. And they should. You know, they should pay taxes. Why doesn't Trump focus on Bezos and Amazon and make them pay their fair share? Why does he punish the post office and expect the post office to charge them 4 times more for a package? You see what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense. So there's got to be another agenda. Did the post office once say something bad about Trump? Because I've heard if you ever say anything bad about Trump, you will be on his bad side for the rest of your living existence. Carol says, is there a way to find out what companies don't pay taxes so I can boycott them all? There's got to be. Somebody in this room will know. Brett says it was the answer. Charles Manson was a genius. Just like now, the media made him look crazy. Yeah. It didn't seem like it, but I'm telling you, he didn't let me see him for very long. I would have loved to study these letters. He let me read them, though, and he only let me read the first 3. And it just seemed like gibberish, but I bet if you studied it, that you're right. Paul says U.S., Germany, and Russia and a handful of other countries have cut ties with Huawei and the 5G networks. Really? That is interesting. We just made it law, the 5G rollout. Cut ties with just that company, though. Is that what you mean? Marie says you even threw out your microwave years ago. I don't want that 5G or more towers in my area. Robert says the 5G towers are right next to all the schools in my city. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. They're rolling out 300,000 more towers, minimal. That's what they tell you anyway. But they can put these things everywhere. They can do mini towers. They can put those on a street sign. They can put those anywhere they want. And they'll be all over buildings. And they're all over schools and everywhere. And no one was asked. And everybody's like, oh, it's going to be awesome. Our download speeds are going to be unreal. You won't even be able to believe it. It's going to be so cool. It's ridiculous. And then you look at what it can be used for as far as nefarious means are concerned, then it gets extremely frightening. But Azor said, do you think this will be a permanent situation? I am seeing roadblocks and things that don't look short term. Most of it won't go away. It's gonna stick around. We're getting, like, just an example, where I work, we are getting things for the ground, and I'm sure that other stores are getting them too, to show people where to stand. They're conditioning us, and a lot of that's staying. And I think a lot of these restricted areas is going to stick around too. You know, to see what we'll tolerate, and then they'll restrict more areas, put more of a restriction down, see if we'll tolerate that. They lull us to sleep. They do everything slowly. So yeah, I believe a lot of this is permanent, you know, and they're conditioning us for that too. You know, think about how often you've heard them over and over and over say, things will never be the same again. And nothing's ever going to be the same. Everything has changed. Over and over and over again. It's because it's never going to be the same. Everything has changed. It's the fact of it. Steve says Jimmy Dore did a show with Whitney Webb about the Rona, preparing us all for AI, drones, driverless cars, etc. Yeah, that was in the video with the same person on the Ginger shared from. Now I lost it, but it was Whitney Webb, and she was talking about AI. I was only 10 minutes into the interview, but they've been going on and on and on about how AI is going to be our savior now with this Rona. I think we'll just call it Rona. You know, I don't know that the algorithm picks up on that word, but I know they pick up on the other word. So I'm sure that we got the little tag for the World Health Organization on YouTube from me saying it just one time. It doesn't take much. They're listening to everything, and it's kind of scary when you really think about the censorship. And we're a little off topic right now, but something brought it up to my mind. I'm going to finish my thought. It's been corporatized, and everybody's okay with it. That's not cool. You know, it's not cool just because it's Facebook and Google and YouTube doing it. They're basically utilities at this point, and it needs to be a concern. Brett says Ma Bell was capped and taxed until they were able to change their name to AT&T, and that ended the Baby Bell unions. Steve says there's no planes in LA, only many cop and military helicopters. I don't like the sound of that. Susan says, what's made me so mad is no summer concert series here in California. My ZZ Top concert was supposed to be yesterday. There's no reason for this. There's none. There's none. There's no reason for this fear. There is a virus. It's serious. You need to take precautions. There's no reason for these shutdowns, lockdowns. This is what I'm saying it is. They're conditioning us and getting us ready for these agendas. And a good example, look it up. Go ahead and give it a Google. is Agenda 2030. Maybe we should cover that Wednesday. Again, I need a topic for Wednesday. I really do. I sit and spin my wheels and try to come up with something. So let me know what you guys want to see, because if not, we're going to go with gay frogs or lizard people, because that's the only suggestions I've gotten so far. I would love to see a ZZ Top concert too. I think that would be a good concert. I've only been to a handful of concerts. I've seen Rush twice. They are amazing live. And I saw Hootie and the Blowfish. I can't even think of any others I've been to. It's a handful, like I said. Oh, one was a festival. So I saw Primus. I got to see a couple cool bands. But I don't remember the name of the festival. It was some radio station festival. Helen says her daughter's pissed about concerts and baseball. Bread and circuses being taken away is upsetting a lot of people. Brett says we're going to be slaves. Only cap and tax and slavery. I have to look that up and give it a Google. I don't offhand know what that is. Comments to post. Hold on. What's this? Alicia says, I've seen comments to post coming through censored. On Facebook, that happens on YouTube. Matter of fact, Lacey's comment just got flagged. Primus sucks. Kilo, you crazy. Tommy the Cat? Come on. Now, they're not mainstream, but they are talented musicians. Their drummer's amazing. Les Claypool gets all the attention. I'm sorry it's so loud. You've probably heard a lot of stuff driving by. I've tried not to give any attention to it, but everyone in this town, I live in a farm town. They're showing off their tractors today. I really don't know why. And now they're honking about something. There's supposed to be a lockdown going on. It's a joke. Slay said the comment that got flagged on YouTube, by the way, was she said the frogs are gay. And they are. Azora says, I wonder how they're going to spin this to the public, because a lot of local economies revolve around people traveling to those areas, staying in motels and enjoying these areas. I don't know. They're going to spin it like this. In your own best interest. For your protection. Keep you safe. To preserve these lands. A lot of different things like that. It'll never be the real reason, but they'll sell it to you in 15 different ways. Marie says, New World Order, CIA, Bill Gates, Agenda 2030. Good topics. Steve says Jack is a good guy helping his neighbor in the wheelchair. Jack's a great guy. Jack's super cool. Matter of fact, I've got a thank you card I need to send Jack. Jack sent me a birthday present. Jack's amazing. Jack, it not only looks like Santa, he is Santa. I really think he is, and that's what Santa's real name is. He looks just like him. Daniel says no tracking ID. I do not consent. You've seen these videos where these companies are putting RFID chips into their employees and people are loving it. Oh, it's so convenient. I don't have to carry my work card. Dude, how difficult was that? Keeping track of your scan card. That was too hard for you? You need to get something put in your skin? Just for convenience. Most people will go along with it just for convenience. But you're not putting nothing in me. There's no way I would consent to that. Kilo says old school Primus fans will get that. Oh, Primus sucks. Azora says that is a great topic, how the agenda is falling into place, how the Rona is enabling it, and what we might expect it to happen if they are actually following it. It is. Fantastic topic. I don't know how to cover it, because you get taken down. You get throttled. You get pushed down. You can't share it out on any platform. And YouTube will take your channel down if they feel like you've violated the holy grail of the World Health Organization. Steve says Biden should announce his VP. Any guesses? Kamala. If I had to put money on it right now, I would guess Kamala Harris. My surprise bet, my long shot bet would be Tulsi. I see that being the ultimate stab in the back. But like I said, 200 to 1 odds on that. My favorite's Kamala. I don't see it being Elizabeth Warren, but it wouldn't completely shock me. But because I've seen her labeled as the best way to get Bernie voters, which I think whoever wrote that article is completely out of touch with true burners, because that's just not true. I think everybody knows that Elizabeth Warren is a fake progressive. Carol says we cannot let the herd vaccines go down. Herd vaccines. Huh. Yeah, Marie, the people at their companies getting injected with these RFID chips? Oh, yeah. There's a TV show. This is some creepy shit. I wish I knew the name of it offhand. But this girl is transhuman. Is that right? Where she wants to meld with computers. And there's an episode, they showed clips from it I saw shared the other day on Facebook, where she had been melded. They put computer chips in her brain, and she could like take pictures with her eyes, didn't need a keyboard, could surf the web while she's talking to you. It was freaky. That's the kind of shit they're going to sell it to you as. Look how convenient this looks. Look how super cool it is. You can play video games without a controller. This is badass. Yeah, it's all super cool until somebody turns it off, takes your identity away, unplugs you from the system. Yeah, Kilo, I thought so, man. Because as a bassist, you gotta love Les Claypool. Did you know, you probably know this, did you know that Les Claypool was almost in Metallica? He auditioned to be in Metallica. They thought he was too good, which he is. But he wanted to be in Metallica. When they were auditioning after Cliff Burton died, he's one of the people that auditioned. Steve said Jack's a good biker. Many bikers are the coolest people. Yeah, he just joined a biker gang, or not gang, club. And I can't remember the name of it, but it looks really cool when you get the cool coat. What's it called? A cut? That vest coat that they wear on Sons of Anarchy? Yeah, Joan Warren is a complete sellout. And I think most people are aware of that. I really think it'll be Kamala Harris. That's my guess. Steve says if Biden picks Tulsi, I'd vote for him. Because he won't last a year. It's probably why I wouldn't pick her. That's my long shot. That would be the ultimate stab in the back. But I don't know why she did what she did. Why do you think Tulsi endorsed Biden? I don't think it's the same reasons as Bernie. Why do you think Tulsi did it? Yeah, Steve. Warren killed the Sanders campaign. Brett says reparations. Biden will pick someone that wants reparations. Clyburn Dunn said so. Well, if Clyburn said so. What does Kamala Harris feel about, how does she feel about reparations? It's going to be a woman. And did he say woman of color? Or did he just say woman? It's going to be a woman. Daniel says no more social distancing. You're being conditioned. You know, I see people getting mad at these protesters. Why? Why? You're at home. You're safe, right? I mean, if you are afraid, it's just like the people that are coming out and, want you to take all these extra precautions at like a restaurant, for example. Well, if you're that afraid, why are you coming to the restaurant? You know what I mean? It's just a little weird. Kathy says, been watching the biker soap for the last week. Goose for bra. I don't know what that means. Black woman. Clyburn hinted Obama. Michelle Obama? That wouldn't surprise me. So, I still think Kamala will put Michelle in the top 5, though. But that'd be crazy. It don't matter who they pair him with. He's not going to win. He's going to lose. Cliff Burton does rock. Kilo. Kilo says Tulsi has a long-time friendship with the Biden family. Think she was good friends with the son that died. Well, that explains it. Kathy says anger management, dude. Anger management, dude. Is that what goose for bra means? So you confused me with that. It might not mean anything. It might be a foreign language. Does anybody? This is completely off topic, but we've gone on and on now. I think it's okay. Does anybody think it's super cool that there are different languages? That fascinates the shit out of me. That like a paragraph to me looks like gibberish to someone else, and then their language to me looks like complete gibberish. It's amazing. Blows my mind. So many different languages, completely different languages exist to express the same things. It's just amazing. It's overwhelming, really. Oh, Anger Management, the movie with Jim Carrey. Wait, Jack Nicholson and Adam Sandler. Wasn't it Adam Sandler? I think it was. And that is a good movie. I was working at a movie gallery at the time, so my job was basically to pitch movies to people. That was a good movie. I've not been into movies for a while. Jones says Michelle is his VP and Barack on Supreme Court from some articles. Biden's not going to win. You know, Biden has to win for that to work. Biden's not going to win. Biden has no chance at winning. Kathy says algebra is gibberish, but it's a language too. And yes, Adam Sandler. Helen says, I think it's cool when their language has different sounds than we do. I'm amazed by it. You know, and although I feel like this is whispering out loud, but I like when you're at like a store and people are having a full conversation in another language behind you. It fascinates me that like I can hear everything that you're saying, but I can't understand a word of it. And there's different sounds, like she was saying. It's just weird. Like not weird. It's cool. Like in the Spanish language, the rolling of the R's, different things like that. Steve says, I speak fluent Spanish. It has enriched my life 100%. I would love to learn another language. I'm so lazy, though. Like, I failed French. In high school, I failed French, Spanish, Latin. Yeah, that's it. I tried to learn 3 different languages, and I failed every time. Like, it just didn't hold my attention. I was fascinated by it, but I couldn't learn. I couldn't grasp it. Like, my mind wouldn't accept it, I guess. Or maybe I didn't want it as bad as I did or thought I did at the time. Maybe I need to try it again. Maybe I should get like a Rosetta Stone. Does that work? I would love to learn a different language. Kathy says Biden is a rapist. That's important to remember and to state as often as possible and get that out. Because he is. And her name is Tara Reade. And she's being silenced by the mainstream media. And that's not going away. Can't go away. Can't allow it. This is our job and our responsibility to make sure it doesn't. Because Business Insider is not going to be able to keep it alive for very long. The mainstream media is not reporting on it. Susan says French is the sexiest language. My favorite to hear, as far as accent goes, on a male is the Australian accent. I can listen to an Australian accent talk forever. You could read the phone book, and I would sit and listen. It's my favorite accent. But I never thought about what the sexiest one is. I think for me, for a woman, it would be a British accent. I think that would be the sexiest. But I don't know about the language itself. French is probably the sexiest. Helen says, I was learning Urdu when I was married. Still remember some cuss words. I used to like you ever watch that show Firefly? I used to like how they would cuss in other languages. I thought that was really clever. A really clever trick for network TV. Brett says Biden will drop out and the vice pick will be president. Biden's not going to win. I really don't think he has any shot at all at winning. I feel no threat at all that he will win. I don't think he has a chance in hell. And I don't think they want to win. I think they're completely fine with Donald Trump staying president. Paul says, I tried to learn Canadian but couldn't get my head to flop. It's hard, right? I mean, and that's weird that they have that floppy head. But South Park doesn't lie, and how are you going to be on for like 20-something years telling a lie? That's one of the only places you can learn about Canadian culture is South Park. Oh, Jack's back? How was your neighbor, Jack? It wasn't anything serious, was it? I hope she's okay. I didn't smoke for a whole hour, so I think it's okay. I think I earned that. Kilo says German sounds tough. German does sound tough. Like you always sound pissed. You hear somebody say something in German. I saw a funny video where they were saying really nice stuff in German, and it just always sounded angry, and it was funny. Jones said he would appoint the president if he were to win. Oh, yeah. Biden's falling apart. Biden won't make it. He even came out and said he would need somebody. A vice president that's ready to hit the ground running and take over the job. He's not going to win, though. Steve says, you speak half-assed Portuguese? The other day I was watching a movie and I could understand it all. But I wasn't any language I knew. It turned out it was Italian. It's all the same language. You might be a savant. Maybe you're a genius. Think of that. I'm impressed with people that learn different. Irish is a pretty cool accent. You're right. Irish is cool. I have an uncle, though, through marriage. He's Australian. Man, I was fascinated with that dude. Anytime he would talk, I would sit and listen. No matter what he was talking about. It all sounded like poetry. Didn't matter. And it was 100% the accent. Jones says if Trump doesn't stop his nightly campaigns, he may not win. He was running on the economy, and that is gone now. Well, it kind of is going to depend on how powerful the mainstream media is, isn't it? But most people have lost faith in the mainstream media. Most people don't believe the garbage coming from the mainstream media. So their hold is slipping. I don't know how well they'll be able to sell Joe Biden. And Trump has real support. He really does. Yes, Steve, how many toothpicks? Come on. I know you know. Brett says Biden will be out of the convention. His pick will run against Trump. Oh, okay. Be out by the convention. Susan says just watch the few Canadian PM press conferences. He does them in both French and English. Well. Slay says, did you see the video of Biden's wife speaking for him? Steve brought that up. Yes. Biden is not well. He won't make it. But they are hiding him in front of a teleprompter at this point. And they intend to do that all the way up into the convention. They tend to see if they can get away with it. He won't make it, though. I agree with you guys. I think you're right. He won't make it. And as much as I want to see him get beat up on the debate stage with Donald Trump, it probably will end up being someone else. They already accomplished what they wanted to do. They just wanted to make sure it wasn't going to be Bernie Sanders. And it was never going to be Bernie Sanders. Helen says, goo brain Biden. Paul says Biden will select Ted Nugent as his VP because his hair smells really nice. I have heard that about Ted. He may be an asshole, but I've heard that he has a very, 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 very good shampoo and conditioner regimen, and his hair smells fantastic. So no matter how you feel about him. But yeah, Biden is not going to make it. And he'd get torn to shreds by Trump. It really would be sad. I hope that he doesn't make it. It wouldn't be funny. It would be sad. Just like I was trying to make a video of a bunch of clips of Joe Biden like forgetting where he is and shit, and it ended up being the saddest thing I'd ever worked on. I'm still working on it. It's kind of on the back burner though, because like I just had to stop. It was just too much. There's hundreds of examples of it. He can't finish a sentence on his own. Jones said if Biden picks the right VP, people might vote on the VP knowing Biden won't be able to do the job. I'm going to actively work against Joe Biden and whoever he picks as his VP. Let's say it's Kamala. Let's say it's Michelle Obama. Let's say it's anybody. I'm going to actively work against them. And that's what I think we all need to do. Yeah, Biden could be like Keith Richards and live forever. I mean, he could just keep going on and on and on like the Energizer Bunny. There may be no end to him. You all think we're going to get rid of him. But science is a bitch. Kilo says, I'd like to see them fist fight. Oh, Joe Biden will, no doubt, if he's placed on a debate stage with Donald Trump, threaten him to a fist fight. He's always threatening people to a fist fight. Brett says it would only be 3 months of campaigning, so it will be a sleeper. There might not even be any campaigning. How long is this going to go on? How long is this pandemic going to keep happening? I don't see an end in sight for it. I mean, and the essential employee part of me is kind of like, well, let it keep going because I'm getting paid extra money per hour. We're busy. I'm getting all my hours. Nothing's changed for me. So I like the extra money per hour. But I don't like all the things like Azora's talking about, having places restricted that you can't go. Now that's not good. That's big red flag, and everybody needs to be concerned about this because it's a plandemic, Paul. It's a plandemic. And they did multiple exercises. I've been talking about Event 201. Event 201 was an exercise, a tabletop war game style exercise that they did to plan the reaction to this virus because they at least minimal had foreknowledge because there was multiple exercises. There's another one called Dark Winter, also hosted by Johns Hopkins, and it went on for 13 days. Event 201 was just one day. This was a 13-day war game. And the findings, I'll just read through the findings of the war game. But the scenario spanned 13 days, and the players were announced. It says the players were announced to a crisis during a National Security Council meeting scheduled to address several emergency crises, including the development of a carrier task force to the Middle East. And at the start of the meeting, the Director of Health and Human Services informed the President of a confirmed case of smallpox in Oklahoma City. Additional smallpox cases were soon identified in Georgia and Pennsylvania. And then so on and so forth. It ended up including 25 states, so it was another outbreak, but this one was smallpox. So their findings were that an attack on the United States with biological weapons, because in this war game it's a biological weapon, which a lot of people think that Rona is, could threaten vital national security interests, massive civilian casualties, breakdown in essential institutions, violation of democratic processes. What's that mean? Civil disorder, loss of confidence in government, and reduced U.S. strategic flexibility abroad. The second finding was that current organizational structures and capabilities are not well suited for the management of a biological weapon attack. Major fault lines exist between different levels of government, federal, state, and local, between government and the private sector. See, so this could all be a live exercise, seeing how they react in real time. But that's what this war game was anyway. And seeing they found in their second finding here that they were going to have those problems. The third one is that there's no surge in U.S. capability in the U.S. healthcare and public health systems, or in the pharmaceutical and vaccine industries. This institutionally limited surge capacity could result in hospitals being overwhelmed and becoming inoperable, and it could impede public health. And 4 is dealing with the media will be a major immediate challenge for all levels of government. Information management and communication, i.e., dealing with the press effectively, communication with citizens, maintaining the information flow necessary for command and control at all institutional levels, will be a critical element in the crisis consequence management. And then 5 was, should a contagious bioweapon pathogen be used, containing the spread of the disease will present significant ethical, political, cultural, operational, and legal challenges. And they said they used smallpox because of its high case fatality rates and transmittability. But that's interesting. I think that's interesting that there was multiple pandemic war games before the outbreak. Paul says even with the fluffed up numbers they give us, it's an outbreak at best, far from a pandemic. This is no worse than a really bad flu season. Matter of fact, wasn't it 2009? There was terrible flu season. Hundreds of thousands of people died. It's like that. There's no justification for this national shutdown, for the global shutdowns. But think about what was happening before all this started. There was worldwide demonstrations and uprisings going on. They silenced a lot with this pandemic. And they're using it to accomplish a lot. They've stolen a lot of money. They're buying up a lot of resources and a lot of control, and using it to condition us to move their agenda forward. 2009 was SARS. So when was the year, what was the swine flu? It was swine flu that I'm thinking of. H1N1, isn't it? So didn't like 200,000 people die of the swine flu? I hate when I throw out numbers because I'm so bad with them. Although I usually end up being a little more accurate than I give myself credit for. Yeah, where is Ghislaine Maxwell? But even if you find out, she's untouchable because they've upheld the protections that she was given under the plea deal that Epstein was given, that sweetheart plea deal that they gave him. Kilo says the DOD thinks up scenarios all the time, though. Okay, but these are pretty specific to what's going on. And then they're both connected to Johns Hopkins, and I haven't dug enough to see if Bill and Melinda Gates are connected to the Dark Winter one, but they are heavily connected to the Event 201 scenario. And then Bill Gates has got such a prominent role in our response. That's all a little hinky to me. I don't trust it. Keel says, how about North Korea? They are going to go nuts. What is going on with Kim Jong-un? I'm not seeing any accurate reports, and I'm going to feel really stupid if something's been announced, but I've seen people say that he's dead. I've also seen it said that he's not. You smoked pot with Johnny Hopkins? Man, you're the coolest. I knew it. I really do want to know what happened to my badges. You know, I'm reminded of a movie line where they say we don't need no stinking badges, but I miss my badges. I liked them. Jones says they're destroying the food supply, and that can't be rapidly replaced. This is an attack. This is an attack against us. And we need to be in alert mode. It's not looking out for our safety. It's not in our best interest. I do not trust these people. They don't have a good track record. You know what I mean? Kilo says, flip side, what if there's truth to it and people don't take it seriously? Catch-22 with having a shady government, don't know when to trust them if at all, which is kind of what I was just saying. You're absolutely right. How the hell do you know when to listen to them? You know? You kind of don't. You kind of have to defend yourself and be in self-defense mode all the time. Kilo says, I think North Korea was finally able to grow a vegetable. He's in bad shape, isn't he? I mean, best case scenario, he's in bad shape. I'm surprised they even told their people that he was having a surgery. I'm surprised anybody even knew about that. Steve says, I had two swine, almost killed me. Didn't eat for a week. You had the swine flu? Ugh. Paul says they took our jobs, food, and freedom over this, and that's cool, but give us back our fan badges. Yeah, come on. That's ridiculous. You're going to mess with me in little ways and throttle my feeds and all that, but now you're going to take my fan badges away? Come on, Facebook. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Jones says as of this morning, they can't figure out what happened to him. Where in the world is Kim Jong-un? Slice says people making false claims. Q only posts on QPub. Azor says, anybody heard about food plants are shutting down now? Food plants? Like processing plants? Steve says, I think the sister would be a better leader. Is that who it would go to, or are they sexist? I'm sure they're sexist. I can't imagine it would go to the sister. Marie says he's laying in wake for the last 17 hours. He's dead. What would happen? What the power vacuum that would be created? It would be fascinating news. Slay says, read my comments before that. People making false claims. Boo, 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 boo. See the video about... Wait, that's not it. Did they pull him? Kilo said, go to sister and head of military. Oh, really? Huh. It's interesting. Steve says Michelle Obama's a man. Not that there's anything wrong with that. You know, there are a couple examples of Obama calling Michelle Michael. It happens quite often, actually. I've seen it happen a few times. And that is an interesting theory. And that is something more for Wednesday night, but I need something for Wednesday night. So is it Michael Obama? That'd be a good show. Marie says there's a video of it showing him in a clear box. Really? Huh. Slay says at 8:27. 8:27. 2 posts I have marked as spam like this week. I'm confusing myself. I'm getting lost. I'll check it out though. But I am gonna go ahead and wrap up for the evening. I gotta find out what happened to Kim Jong-un. Where in the world is Kim Jong-un? Helen says that's footage from his dad's funeral. Steve says I think he's dead. There's a video of North Korean news lady crying about it. Alright, well, thanks for watching, guys. I never know how to end these because they end up being a conversation and we've been hanging out for a while, so I'm really bad at goodbyes. But this is the Shawn Yankey Show, and it's a conversation show. This is what we do. And do a little news, little events, little things like that, and just talk amongst each other. So we meet every day at 7 Central, 8 Eastern. I don't know the other time zones. I'm going to learn them. I'm going to inform myself. Same time every day, basically. Whatever time it was when this show started, that's what time it'll be on tomorrow. And then Wednesday night, we're going to feature conspiracy theories. I'm going to do that every Wednesday moving forward. And I'll have a video made for you, just like Conspiracy Theories and Chill. We're just going to do it on the Shawn Yankey Show every Wednesday. We'll talk conspiracies and have fun. That should be part of what we do around here because it's always been a part of what we do. Brett says if he's dead, they may nuke China. What? That's an overreaction. But thanks, guys. Thanks for watching, and I will see you again tomorrow for the next episode of the Shawn Yankey Show. If you shared, thank you very much. And I'm going to try to get to the bottom of what happened to our badges, guys, and see what I can find out. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.